a lot of these issues can be addressed, but we don't pay attention to those people, those men and women who've already made the sacrifice and who've already, and this I think is something particular to African Americans. We don't honor the men and women in our community who've already made, those sacrifices. Again, it's not a monolith. It's not just one person. There are many people, who are out there who have good information. They have sound intellect, sound knowledge, and everything, and we don't place any importance on, getting knowledge from these people. And I think within the Muslim tradition, I actually think that's a result of our traumatic experience in the church and dealing with, like, charlatan pastors and things like that. We just have an aversion within our particular culture to just, following people and, giving people their props, so to speak.
Well, I think it's that, but I also think that it's this whole idea of when you're talking about at the African American culture, we've been force fed a faith, and within that faith, there's been a lot of justification for our dehumanization and violence against us. And when you have, and I'm talking about Christianity in particular, so when you have that occur and it be propagated by people within your culture as well, so like you were mentioning, like the preachers, Christian preachers and things like that, it's like that's a tainted pool. So because you're coming from that tainted pool, you have to resist against that ideology in order to find any liberation. I mean, you do have Black liberation theology where Black Christians did it. And I think that, but for Muslims, when you had the Black Muslim movement, a foundational part of it was, look at this, we're going to disassociate ourselves from that because that is not meant for us. What I find concerning is that in Muslim culture, especially now since the civil rights movement, and you had this opening up of the borders and you had this influx of immigrant Muslim populations that practice a lot of anti-Blackness, racism, discrimination, and so now it's like, and they're trying to use Islam to do it because they're the ones that say, well, we have the clout, we have the credibility because we're the ones that are coming from the Muslim background, Blackie. African Americans are not going to sit by and drink that because African American Muslims completely disassociated themselves from an entire faith, not only because of the problem of the Trinity, but because of the utter oppression that was used in the name of that faith. And now here you come, just because you speak Arabic doesn't mean we're going to sit up here and drink that chai that is dehumanizing us. So that's the thing that concerns me. It's like they're using Islam, they're using their interpretation of Islam. They're trying to force this culture on people that are not going for it. They're just not going to go for it. So I think that's the reason why across the board there's this critical eye, and there's this hesitancy, this skepticism by African American Muslims. And I'm sorry, as an African American Muslim woman, you could just throw in all that misogyny that they're bringing with them. Okay, so it's just like when I hear people, sometimes I hear Black African American Muslim male scholarship, they say stuff that I'm just like, wait a minute. No, this sounds just like what white people are saying about me. This sounds just like what non-Black Muslims are saying about me. And they're using hadith to do it. Why are you doing this? And why are you saying this? And when it's broached, then we're attacked for it. So I think that's where it's coming from. We have this skepticism, rightfully so, because faith has been used to dehumanize and degrade us because of the color of our skin. And so now it's just like, if you're coming and you sound anything like that, that's just going to just put antennas up, and it's just going to be like, listen, wait a minute, no, I'm not down for that. I'm not going for that. It's not going to happen. So I think that that's where that comes from.